Hi guys, welcome back to the Forgetful Scholar, and this week, no books. I didn't read a dang thing, not even fan fiction this week. I didn't. So I came up with a book tag because I was thinking about, how even before I started this channel, like what I like to read and how that kind of has evolved. So I wrote a little book tag, one, because I didn't read anything, two, to kind of share with you guys about it, okay? So it's called Something New Book Tag. Question number one, what was/is the genre or genres you read the most before you started to try new genre or genres? So for me, that would be historical romance. Mostly all Johanna Lindsey. Like, this is an example of one of my favorites, Angel, with the... any chance I get to show the step back, I will. I will. But this is kind of example of what I read the most. There was some sprinkles of YA, The City of Bones, Cassandra Clare thing, read that, L.J. Smith for the Night World and Vampire Diaries kind of stuff. I have a lot of I would say urban fantasy, but really it was just the Dresden Files. So that was kind of, I didn't, historical romance mostly, but I didn't really venture out too much besides historical romance, a Dresden Files, and maybe some YA here or there, right? So very limited. And that's one of the reasons I kind of started this channel, to kind of not force, but give me incentive to try some new things. Why did you start to try new genres? Question number two. Okay, like I said, I wanted to kind of step out of my comfort zone and try new genres. And, because even though I have a YouTube channel, I do watch YouTube the most out of anything, and I get a lot of book content even before I started this channel. And sometimes these books that other creators just adored, in different genres, I was like, oh, look how much they love that. I want to feel that again. I want to fall into a book, fall in love with the book, and just... So that also, propelled me forward. Yeah, I guess that works. I don't know why it sounds so weird, but no, I guess that works. Okay, question number three. Is there an author or authors that you read the most before branching out? Like I said, I would probably say Johanna Lindsey the most. I have about 4 rows. I believe I have every single one of Johanna Lindsey books. There might be 1 or 2 that I don't or haven't read or don't have a physical copy of. But that, and she wrote a lot of books. Also, Jim Butcher probably be the most outside of historical romance, just because of Dresden Files. I don't know, what is it, book 1,000? So there is that. So probably those 2, but Johanna Lindsey definitely by far the most. And it's interesting because when I started this channel, I kind of branched out to new authors I haven't read in the historical romance section. So I was like, baby steps. It's ridiculous. Question 4. What genre or genres have you tried that feels like you've been reading them all along? So interesting enough. So I would have to say cozy mystery. I loved cozy mystery visual media, like movies and TV shows, but I didn't read any of the books until, again, this channel. And I believe there's 2 books that kind of got me hooked on the genre. The first book kind of gave me, like, I enjoyed it and I was curious about the genre to explore more. And then the second book just hooked me. So the first book would be Haunting Jordan by P.J. Adelman. So this one I found in my local secondhand bookstore, and I was just like, okay, this is like $3. Let me give it a try. The back seems really interesting. It's basically a woman that went from LA to a small town, fixes up an old house that was left to her by a relative, I believe, and has ghosts in it. And she helps solve one of the ghost murder that happened like 100 years ago or something like that. So that got me, I was like, ooh, that's interesting. That was a lot of fun. But I don't know if I love that genre, so let me try. And then this one, again at the same store, different time. The actual, this is so bad, but the cover got me so compelled. Like I was so interested in the cover, right? And it's Death by Dumpling by Vivian Chen. And it's a Noodle Shop Mystery Book 1. And if you've been here for even a little bit, you know I love this series. And the cover, look at that. It got me so intrigued, and I read it and I freaking loved it. I loved the main character Lana. I loved all of it. And she got fired from her corporate job, ended up managing the family Chinese food restaurant, noodle restaurant. Loved it, really great at it, and just happens to have a knack for finding dead bodies. Oops. And she is just one of those people that other people just feel so comfortable with that they'll tell them their secrets and things like that. So she was able to uncover who the murderer was because her best friend, one of her best friends that she grew up with, who's the chef at the noodle shop, their mothers are best friends, so they grew up like brother and sister. He was on the hook for the murder that he didn't do, right? So she was like, so she, you know, went to investigate, and I just got hooked. I can't believe, and I was like, after I read that, I was like, I can't believe I've never tried this genre before. I love it so much. And then I just deep dived into it. So that's one. Another one, it would be like contemporary gay romance, boy love, mysteries as well. I wouldn't classify all of them as cozy mysteries. I know you guys are all gonna think I'm gonna say Jordan L. Hawk got me into that genre as well, but I have to say C.S. Poe, their Winter and Snow series, that got me interested in that. And from there, I found Jordan L. Hawk, which is one of my favorite authors, period. So like, it's funny how things go, right? Let's see, anything else? See, that question is kind of crazy, right? Because there's so much to answer for that, right? So I love historical romance, but a while ago I tried contemporary romance, didn't like it, tried a couple different authors, tried a couple different books, did not like it, right? And then there's about 3 books, and then there's about 3 contemporary romances that really well, maybe four, but mostly 3 that really made me have to stop saying, oh, I don't really like contemporary romances, but let me give this a try, because I really like them. So the first one is going to be My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. Also love this pop art cover. I read it. It's basically Amelia is an accountant, normal girl accountant, and then she falls into this crazy world of vampires. Who's Reggie right here? And Reggie is like an outlaw vampire that this ridiculous group of vampires are trying to kill. She's an accountant, and I love how her accounting abilities saved the day. Loved that. And if you liked what they do in the shadows, it's the same kind of humor. Absolutely freaking adored it. Right? So that's one that I was like, oh, I was still like, I don't really like contemporary romances. That's an outlier. And then I read Back in the Spell, which is Lana Harper, A Witches of Thistle Grove. It's book 3. This is the first one I picked up though. You don't really need to read these in order. This has to do with this is a small town that has a bunch of witch families that live there for generations. The people who aren't witches in the town don't know this because the magic kind of hides itself. It's a whole really fascinating thing. Nina is a lawyer for her family who has a lot of restaurants, and they're kind of like the bad family. Not like... which I thought was interesting because they're supposed to be descendant of Morgana Le Fay, and they're considered the evil family, even though there's like a family of necromancers. Because usually in magic, necromancers equal evil, right? But no, they're like elementalists, and her family is kind of the bad guys. And I loved Nina because in her point of view, she's kind of, I love my family, but I know they're assholes. And it's such a fascinating personality. She's a lawyer, very straight-laced, and Morty is the love interest, and he's a normal guy who is running his family's bar, and he's phenomenal. And I just realized they're kind of like Amelia and Reggie, how like the guy is, the girl is the grumpy and the guy is the sunshine. I guess I really love that. And I really loved it. This book was 5 stars. I loved it so much. So, but I was still like, oh, I don't really like contemporary romances. You know, they're not really my thing yet. And I read this son of a The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore, Adrena Harmer, book 1. This is a contemporary romance, even though it looks like a cozy mystery. I hate these covers so much. This story I really like. This is probably my favorite in the whole series. Even though I felt a little catfished because I thought it was a cozy mystery. But this wasn't enough to get me like in love with contemporary, right? I was still in that whole, oh, this is an outlier. But this book that I read recently, and if you watch my content, you would know that I was like, okay, I have to admit that I like contemporary romances. The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. Also love this cover. This was the book that I was like, I gotta stop lying to myself. Obviously, I like contemporary romances. That's like 4 authors that I'm really enjoying. Shut the up to myself. You know, that's what I said to myself, because like obviously just deal with it. You like contemporary romances as well. It's interesting because if you love historical mystery, historical romance, you would think that contemporary romance is just an easy leap, but it wasn't for me because I really, really did not like it until these 4 books kind of were like, hey, come to the dark side, you know? So you would think I'd be reading them all along, you know, but no. So question 5, what new genres have you been trying out? Oh gosh. So contemporary romance, cozy mystery, urban well, I already read fantasy, progression fantasy, progression lit, suspense romances, and those are kind of 50-50. I tried a few romanticities by T. Kingfisher. They have a Paladin's Grace series, 4 books. 2 of those books, book 1 and 3, I freaking love so much, 5 stars. Would reread, love them so much. 2 and 4, not so much. I love them until the 3rd act, and then they kind of petered out. So that's like a 50-50. But I did try that, and I want to try romantasy a little more. It's just, well, progression lit, fantasy. I even tried some horror. I hope you guys can't hear the construction happening. I can't do nothing about it. So I tried some horror because Jordan L. Hawk wrote a horror book, and like I love them, so I read it. It was scary, you know, and freaky. Did it make me want to read horror more? No. I read The Dark Sisters, which is a horror book, because the synopsis is so interesting. It's about 3 generations of women that have this curse. I really didn't find it scary. I thought the Dark Sister part of it was a little freaky, and the tree that had faces on it that people were drinking the sap for, I thought like, hey, idiots, don't do that. But I found like the more fighting against a puritanical, all-encompassing religion was much more interesting in that book. So the horror didn't really like, but have those books got me to want to read more horror? No, I'm okay. I think, and it's not to say, because like in the T. Kingfisher stories and in a lot of the L.J. Hawk stories, there is like horror bits in it, and I enjoy that. I just don't like a whole book of horror. I do want to try some more to branch out, because that's what I'm trying to do. Promised myself I would, but right now I'm good until I see a horror book that the synopsis interests me, that I think it's more than just to scare people, you know what I mean? Like The Dark Sisters, the synopsis really interested me, so I gave it a try. So like stuff like that. Okay, Question number 6, is there an author or authors that you got that got you to really dig into a genre? So Ali Hazelwood really got me to dig into contemporary romance. Jenna Levine, Lana Harper, all contemporary romances. And I have read all of the Dream Harbor books up to this date, but I haven't enjoyed them so much. Vivian Chen for the Noodle Shop Mysteries. Love that. Also, I'm trying to think. Joshua Bancroft. This is more urban magical fantasy. And that's not a new genre because the Dresden Files, but like I've really enjoyed this author, really enjoyed this series, and I wanted to mention them, how much, you know, want me to dig in. And again, this isn't technically a new genre that I'm trying out because I did read YA before, but Le Bardugo with the Six of Crows, she got me to enjoy YA again, to remember that YA can be a lot of fun, because it was at least 10 years since I read anything YA when my big sister, hey, got me that book for, I think just cause she came to visit. I really think because she wanted me to like it and talk to somebody about it, which, hey, fine, I'll take it. So that was something. Also, you guys are going to laugh because, of course, Matt Dinneman with the Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is progression lit. I never even really thought of reading progression lit, but this author has really gotten me to just, I am obsessed with the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, but weirdly enough, this book didn't get me to read progression lit, because that's not how my brain works. The Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, A Road to Neverwinter by Jaleh Johnson. This book, because I love the movie was hilarious. And I saw the book in my secondhand bookstore again, and I was like, you know what, let me pick it up. Is this a companion piece? And I saw that it wasn't, it was a prequel to the movie, so I was even more interested, and I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was 5 stars, but I really enjoyed it, and because I played Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm like, why haven't I been reading progression lit? And then booktuber, which I forget which booktuber it was that mentioned they love Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think Daniel Green. And then one of my friends who loves progression lit mentioned how Dungeon Crawler Carl is a little more light on the stats, because some of the books can be really heavy stats, and that my brain just stops working when I see too many stats in one paragraph, you know what I mean? My brain shuts off. So he also recommended it, so I was like, okay, let me give it a try. Obsessed. So it's interesting how my brain works. It's not always the first book I try in that genre that gets me hooked. Sometimes it's like, oh, this was good, let me try another, and then the second one is what gets me hooked. Question 7, which new genres are you surprised that you've grown to like? I know it's gonna sound weird, but out of all those, contemporary romance is the one I'm surprised I like. I know, but you have to understand how much I hated contemporary romance until those books. Dungeon Crawler Carl shouldn't have surprised me, because I love playing tabletop RPG games with my friends. So I think Joshua Bancroft and his Hexologist series really surprised me the most, because even though it's urban fantasy, it does feel more hard fantasy, if that makes sense. And the only kind of series I like that's like hard fantasy is Lord of the Rings. So the fact that I do enjoy that kind of took me by surprise. And I know my brain doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me either. Also, I have to mention this author because it opened up a series, like a genre I didn't even know existed, and really surprised I liked. Dreadful by Caitlin Rozakis. I'm so sorry. I've always had such a problem with that name. This is satire fantasy, and I didn't think I would like it because humor is really subjective, and most of the time, you know, that's kind of hit or miss. But I enjoyed this book so much that I picked up their second book, which has to do with like a normal family. Their daughter got bit by a werewolf when she's in kindergarten, and they have to move to this magical town and basically deal with super powered PTA, and it was hysterical. So I'm really surprised by this. And I recently read the one where Sir Cameron Needs to Die, which is satirical fantasy about the like a knight that doesn't want to die. And a prophecy said that for the mad sorcerer to be defeated, Sir Cameron must not die. And Cameron's like, I don't want to die. So he went to the sorcerer for help, and it's a wild ride. I'm really surprised I like, because I'm not a huge fantasy reader, you know? So those are surprises. What is even this video? Okay. Question 8. Which new genres are you not surprised that you have grown to like? So this one's lit. I'm not surprised. Progression lit. I'm not surprised I like it. I'm surprised it took me so long to pick it up. You know, I really want to read more different authors in that genre because I want to make sure it's not just Matt Dinniman, you know? I'm not surprised I liked The Six of Crows because YA, you know? I shouldn't be surprised that I'm not surprised that I like the cozy mysteries because, again, you know, I grew up on cozy mystery visual media. Grew up watching reruns of Murder, She Wrote. I have like the whole series in DVD because I'm old like that. Love Midsummer Murders on the BritBox, you know. So love the channel Acorn. So like I'm not surprised I like it. I'm not surprised I like it. I'm surprised it took me so freaking long. That's what I'm surprised by. Question 9. Which genres do you hope to dig into more? Like I said, progression lit. I want to dig into that a little bit more. I want to try new authors in it. I want to make sure it's not just Matt Dinniman and his certain authorial, no, that means something else. Artist voice that I really like, you know, so I want to try more in that. I want to try more romantasy. I know I'm surprised too, but I also it's hard for me to jump to romantasy because I don't like dark romance. I've tried a few books even before this channel, tried a couple on this channel. It's not my thing, which is fine if that's your thing. I'm not, you know, we're all adults here. Just because I have an opinion and you have a different opinion, that just means we're two different people, as it should be. Anyway, but romantasy tends to be like romantasy, but the romance is dark romance. I don't know why it seems the majority of the guys get dark romance coded, and I'm not interested in that. The T. Kingfisher series, Paladin's Grace, like I mentioned, I love all the paladins in that. They are wonderful green flag people that are flawed and try to do better. I love that. And it's romantasy that's not dark romance coded, and I'm really enjoying that. 50-50, but you know what I mean. For me, that's pretty good stats. I'm kind of a judgy bitch. So I do want to try more of that. But ones that aren't dark romance coded, which seems to be kind of difficult because all the darlings, the men are just shit. Like, I get it, if you like them, I'm probably gonna get so much hate, and that's fine. But also, I want to reiterate, these are literary characters. Like, their feelings aren't hurt if I don't like them, and you're allowed to like them, and I'm allowed to not like them, because that's the point of being individuals, okay? So I don't like Xaden and all that, but you can, you know? Like, I'm not trying to shame you for it, but please understand that he's a dark romance lead. Like, it's not, that's what he is, and that's fine, you know? But if someone doesn't like dark romance, they're not gonna like those books. And I will say, I tried Sarah J. Maas books before the channel. I just don't, her writing style is just not for me. So I don't, because I know I don't like her writing style. Like, I know I don't like Colleen Hoover's writing style. So I don't read those books because I don't like reading books I don't like. Every time I pick up a book, I'm hopeful that it's a 5 stars, that it's my new obsession, that I love it, you know? So I'm not gonna pick up a book from a writer that I know I don't like the writing style, which, my opinion, and I'm allowed to it, because for me, picking up someone I know I'm not gonna like and reading it and then giving it 1 star is just for me, I feel like it's a little bad sportsmanship. If I'm making sense, you know what I mean? So I just don't bother. So 1, Sarah J Maas, her writing style is not for me. 2, very dark romance coded, not for me. Colleen Hoover, actually, weirdly enough, I think she's been mismarketed. I don't think she's a romance novelist. I think she's like woman literature, really, because she deals with some dark, heavy stuff, but that's fine. So they're not for me. I'm not gonna try them. I do want to try some romantic-y books that aren't dark romance coded. Like, I've been searching for the Moth and the Night for a while. I finally found finally found it. Wasn't sold out, and it wasn't like $1 million. It was actually like on sale and stuff. So I was like, cool. I think because it's like a little dented on the corners. I don't care. So I'm pretty excited about that because everything I heard from it doesn't sound dark romance coded. So hopeful. But yes, that is some of the genres I want to dig in more. I do like the Hexologists, the urban fantasy one by Joshua Bancroft, and I want to keep reading them. I love those, the 2 leads. And have I rambled enough? See, I thought this video was going to be short, but like it's going to be one of my longer ones, I think. Okay. Question 9, which genres do you hope to, oh, didn't I do that? Yes. Okay. Question 10, is there a reason why you haven't tried a certain genre or genres? I haven't tried extreme horror. If I don't even like horror, I don't think I'm gonna like extreme horror. I swear there's a genre that pops into my head like 2 seconds ago that I was like, no, I don't want to read that, and I can't freaking remember what I was thinking. I guess this means I'm pretty open to most. I can't really think off the top of my head except for extreme horror. Okay, I'm moving on because that's, and if I remember what genre I was thinking of, I'll write it in the bottom. Probably won't though, so I mean, remember, I probably won't remember. It's probably gone forever until like 5 a.m. tonight. I spring out of bed, I'll be like, oh, that's what I meant. Why am I like this? And why is my energy like this? I don't know. Okay. Question 11. Any genres you have no interest in trying? Didn't. Oh, okay. So number 10, I'm like, what? Why is this confusing? I wrote this. Number 10 is like, is there a reason why? And number 11 is, are there any genres you just have no interest? So they're kind of the same question. I think I should flip the order of those. So you could say like what genre you don't want to try and then why, right? So extreme horror. So I'm going to flip those questions, those like order of questions in the description below, okay? Okay, number 12. Has there been a new genre that has disappointed you? Oddly enough, I would have to say suspense romance, contemporary suspense romance. There is, I think I could think of one or two books that I enjoyed, but not so much. Those are kind of hit or miss. Those are really hit or miss. And I don't know if it's because the contemporary part, still see in my brain, I'm still like, I don't know if I like contemporary romance. You like contemporary romance, knock it off. So I can't even say romantasy because I only really read one author, so that's not a good test, like that's not a good sample size. So I have to say so far, no. I wouldn't say disappointed. So no, I think that's pretty lucky so far. I'll get back to you guys, when I try more progression lit authors. See, I write them down to make me more coherent and I'm not. So question 13. Have you loved a book series in a new genres that you haven't tried authors in that genre, but you haven't tried new authors in that genres? So that's Dungeon Crawler Carl. I haven't tried new authors in that genre and I really, really want to. I would even say the Hexologists, I can't say I have tried a new author in the satirical fantasy, so I'm happy about that. I'm trying, I'm slowly dipping my feet in and trying new things, Have you loved a book / series in a new genres that you have? Oh, didn't I just, yeah. Oh my gosh. Question 14. What new genres are you surprised you liked? The satiric fantasy, I would say, and the hexologist. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I do know why. But when I think I was like 14, I tried one of my sister's hard fantasy books. And, you know, without telling her, because little sister, there was some dark stuff that I shouldn't be reading at that age. And it kind of put me off of that completely. Luckily, I read Lord of the Rings before that, and I really like that. So fantasy, hard fantasy, I haven't really gotten into so much. So the fact that I like the hexologist so much was a surprise because of that. And even though it's urban fantasy, it feels more fantasy forward than, say, the Dresden Files. So I would have to say that one. Question 15. Are there books that are marketed as one genre, but you think they should be another? Now, okay, marketed, not the cover, because Dream Harbor immediately came into my head, but no. I would say Study of Drowning. I enjoyed the book a lot. It was marketed, like when I saw the, it going around to other booktubers and things like that, it seemed very much romantasy, and I think it's even kind of pushed as romantasy. It's definitely new adult gothic literature, and that is it's a great book, you know. Why do I think it's gothic literature? Because it has to do with a decrepit, isolated house, and the owner might or might not be haunted or mad. She keeps seeing an eldritch being at the corner of her eye. Is she mad, or is she just, you know, a unique little snowflake? So to me, it was more gothic, new adult than romantasy. I mean, I feel like I have to mention the Dream Harbor just because maybe it wasn't marketed as a cozy romance, a cozy mystery, but the covers are cozy mystery coded. So I've actually heard so many stories of people reading it and then getting upset because there was no mystery and there was sex in it, and they were like, what the hell? So because the cover is marketing, right? Do I blame the author? No. Do I blame the publishing house? 1,000%. Okay. That was a quick rant about Dream Harbor, considering. Okay, the last question, question 16. Do you have any books that you would recommend for people to try said genres? Okay, this is gonna be a list. If you want to get into historical romance, I would say Angel by Johanna Lindsey, or any one of the Hathaway stories by Lisa Kleypas. If you want to get into progression lit, Dungeon Crawl, Matt Dinneman. If you want to get into contemporary romance, Allie Hazelwood, The Love Hypothesis. If you want to get into YA, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. If you want to get into cozy mystery, Death by Noodle, a Noodle Shop Mystery Book 1 by Vivian Chen. If you want to get into satirical literature, like satirical fantasy, I think I would say apparently Sir Cameron Needs to Die by Greer Soothers. I will say that one. I think it's a little bit more beginner friendly. I don't know. I feel like the humor is a little bit more broad. Contemporary paranormal romance, My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. Did I cover? I think I covered. If you want just urban fantasy, The Hexologist by Joshua Bancroft. Gosh, I said it's gonna be a lot. If you want to get into the Bridgerton universe, but maybe the Bridgerton series is a little intimidating, Julia Quinn, the Smith-Smythe series. They're the cousins of the Bridgertons. It's a little less intimidating, a lot of fun, very funny. But that's also historical romance. Yeah, I think that's all I can think of. And man, my throat hurts. I talked a lot. So I don't want too much time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.